Okay, so this is our lecture 3. Basically, it is lecture 3 of income from house property. AY 2022-23 for June 2022 attempt CMA intermediate. ठीक है, तो इनकम फ्रॉम हाउस प्रॉपर्टी लेक्चर 3 है ये. तो मैं क्विकली एक बार आपका रिवाइज करा दूंगा. ठीक है, सबसे right. So basic conditions we'll see for chargeability of an income under this head was that you should have a house property and then there should be an owner, and house property should not be used for his own business or profession. ठीक है, ये हमने देखा था. ये 3 बेसिक कंडीशंस थे पहले आपके इनकम फ्रॉम हाउस प्रॉपर्टी से चार्जेबल होने के लिए. खुद का हाउस प्रॉपर्टी होना चाहिए, वो खुद ओनर होना चाहिए और खुद के बिजनेस में यूज नहीं करना चाहिए. ठीक है, फिर हमने ये सब देखा था, थोड़े कोर्ट केसेस वगैरह, लैंड अपॉर्टमेंट, ऑल दोस थिंग्स वी हैड सीन, करेक्ट. एंड देन दिस वाज सेकंड कंडीशन दैट he should be the owner and tenant's income would be taxable as income from other sources. We had seen that. Then we had seen the point of owner includes legal owner, beneficial owner and deemed owner. ठीक है, सो ये देखे थे हमने 3 टाइप के ओनर्स होते हैं, जिसमें से आपका लीगल ओनर वो होता है जिसके नाम पे घर होता है. ठीक है, और बेनिफिशियल ओनर का मैंने बताया था कि जैसे सोसाइटी वगैरह होती है, बहुत लोगों से पैसा कलेक्ट करते हैं और फिर वो घर बनाते हैं. ठीक है, तो वो घर सोसाइटी के नाम पे होता है और जो जिसको अलॉट होता है घर वो बेनिफिशियल ओनर कहलाता है. ओके, हालांकि उसको सारे राइट्स होते हैं लीगल ओनर के, क्योंकि उसी के पैसे के घर बने बेसिकली. तो ऐसे केसेस को बेनिफिशियल ओनर कहा जाता है. So beneficial owner I had explained you last time, correct, that for societies and all, where they collect money from a number of people and then they build a house and allot the flats to those people. In this case, society becomes legal owner, these people will become beneficial owner. Okay, so house property there is no difference between legal and beneficial owner, right? So third part is fictional or deemed owner. Okay, there are 5 points for fictional or deemed owner. But if a person has become a deemed owner, in that case, the first 2 cases will not be taxable. They won't be taxable. Okay, only deemed owner will be taxable if deemed owner is there. Okay, so what are the 5 cases we had seen there? Transfer to spouse or minor child without adequate consideration. Then we had seen holder of impartible estate. So this is basically like mahals and all, where there's a huge property with many units inside it. Okay, these are called as impartible estate, right? So the holder of such estate is deemed as owner of all properties inside that. And then property held by member of company, society, association. Same example as that society example which I gave you. But there are many companies also who build houses like this. Okay, they have shareholders, they build house and they allot it to them. Right? So this is the same case basically. Right? So in case of property held by member of company, society or other association, and these members should get building or part thereof under house building scheme. Okay. Then after this we saw 53 capital A of Transfer of Property Act. Here I saw that I told you that for Transfer of Property Act to apply, the deal is not fully complete, right? So here basically you have not paid the full amount. You have paid partial amount and you have taken possession. Okay, paid partial amount, taken possession. Okay, so after taking possession, he cannot turn you out of the property. Okay, so which is why, as per Transfer of Property Act, you are seen as the owner. right? Then you have lessee, the lease deed, lease agreement. So I told you that if your agreement is for 12 years or more, you become deemed owner. So in this 12 owner, it is okay if you have got partly for some years and it is renewable for some number of years, and the total of two, both of them, is over 12 years. So if I have agreement for 5 years and then I have a right to increase it for 8 more years. Okay. So 5 plus 8 will be 13. So that means I will become deemed owner. Okay. We had seen all these things. You can see the first 2 lectures if you want to know these in detail. Okay. And it should not be used for his own business or profession. This we saw. And incidental letting, that is what is seen as own business or profession, letting out to employees, letting out to government agencies like post office, bank, etc., to aid your business. Okay. And to ancillary units is like if you are a manufacturer, you are giving it to the person who holds the raw material, like that. Ancillary units. Okay. So all these things are seen as incidental letting. Okay. And then here next, one more thing we saw, that if you are, even if you have 50 houses, you are giving it on rent and you are collecting rent every month. Like it's like your business to put properties on rent and collect the rent. But if you are collecting only the rent, okay, it will come under income from house property. 1 house or 100 houses. Okay, it will be income from house property. Okay. So this part you have to remember. Business of letting out property, this will always be income from house property. But if property is used for promoting own business, okay, like these are the cases here, these cases, all these are business income. Then some special cases we saw for foreign property, for OR or ordinarily resident, it is always taxable. Okay, for NOR and NR, it is income must be received in India. This again is basically the conditions which are taken from our incidence of tax table. Okay, and how it would be computed using India's rules. We'll compute the tax using India's rules. Then for disputed ownership, person who receives in India or enjoys the possession of property, he is assessable. ठीक है, जिसको पैसे मिल रहे हैं, जो इसके पास पोजेशन है, वो असेसेबल होगा, डिस्प्यूटेड ओनरशिप. ठीक है. फिर हमने बात किए थे कंपोजिट रेंट की. कंपोजिट रेंट यानी बिल्डिंग और साथ में दूसरे एसेट्स दे रहे हैं आप या दूसरे सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं. ठीक है. तो अभी उसका टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट हमने यहाँ पे देखा था कि सेग्रीगेशन हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता है, डिवाइड आप कर सकते हैं क्या दोनों में. तो अगर कर सकते हैं तो बिल्डिंग के लिए हाउस प्रॉपर्टी में जाएगा, दूसरे एमेनिटीज के लिए पीजीबीपी या आईओएस में जाएगा. अगर आप नहीं कर पा रहे हो डिवाइड, तो पूरा अमाउंट विल बी पीजीबीपी और आईओएस. ठीक है. ओके. सो हियर वी हैड सीन इफ सेग्रीगेशन इज पॉसिबल, देन फॉर यूज ऑफ बिल्डिंग दैट पार्ट विल बी हाउस प्रॉपर्टी. Other for amenities and assets, it will be PGBP or IOS. Segregation not possible, put whole under PGBP or IOS. And paying guest is always IOS, remember that, right? And then we had seen that if letting of building and letting of assets are inseparable, you cannot separate it like a factory. Okay, in that case, whole thing will be business income or IOS. Okay. Example is hotel, auditoriums, all that. Okay. Factory also can be an example. Right. So, and then we talked about co-ownership, when 2 or more people jointly own a house property. Okay. So here what is important is each of their shares must be definite and ascertainable. Okay. So then each of them can claim benefit of self-occupied house property. What is self-occupied? We'll see later. So you won't understand now. Interest on loan, there's some interest on loan is allowable. Okay. and these limits and all also we'll see later. You don't worry about it now. Okay, so this part, let's park it off now. This part we'll see later. Now you won't understand. Okay. Then section 26 is mandatory. Remember that. Okay, not optional. Then partner's property used by firm. It is seen as partner is carrying on business in his own firm. Okay, not taxable as income from house property, but as PGBP. Okay, so this is where we had ended those two sessions here. So now next we'll talk about property held as stock in trade. Okay, stock in trade means builders and all normally they build a house and they sell some, and some are not sold. Okay, so the unsold ones basically are stock in trade, right? So now there is a rule that two properties can be treated as self-occupied. So you don't have to pay tax for this basically. So we'll see the computations and all. So after this, whatever you have got third, fourth, fifth, whatever properties you have, right? These are all deemed to be let out. And you have to pay tax for that. Right? Now think about builders. If say I am a builder, okay, I built a huge 500 flats scheme. Okay, I have sold 100. Okay, let me say every 6 months I can sell 100. Then 400 is balance. Right? Then I have to pay this deemed rent for all this 400, right? And it will be very costly for me, isn't it? So when this rule came out, the biggest people to suffer were the builders. So they protested a lot. And then this was changed. So what the new rule what was made, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ था? ये रूल था पहले, ठीक है? ये तो अभी भी है ये रूल, ठीक है? लेकिन जो स्टॉक इन ट्रेड करके रखे हैं, बेचने के लिए जो रखते हैं, उनके लिए रूल है कि जो है, मैं बताता हूँ, उनके लिए इसको थोड़ा सा चेंज किया गया. देखिए 500 घर हैं उसके फ्लैट, 100 बिक गया है, 400 का किराया भरना पड़ेगा उसको, इमेजिनरी रेंट, वो तो इट विल बी टू मच, इजंट इट, है ना? तो उसके लिए ये हुआ है, दिस वाज डन फॉर दैट. Held as stock in trade and not let out, कि किराए में नहीं देना चाहिए, वो important, ठीक है? Not let out during any part of previous year. Then up to 2 years from the end of financial year in which certificate of completion of construction is obtained from the competent authority. यानी आपने जब आपका सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ कंप्लीशन आपको मिलता है, जब फ्लैट कंप्लीट होता है, घर कंप्लीट होता है, ठीक है? वो कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट जो मिला, जैसे अगर मुझे अगस्त में मिला, ठीक है, मुझे मिला अगस्त 2010 में, सपोज ये सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ कंप्लीशन जो है मुझे मिला है अगस्त 2010 में, ठीक है? तो ठीक है, अगस्त 2010 में मिला है मुझे, राइट? तो इस प्रीवियस ईयर का एंड क्या रहेगा? एंड ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर क्या रहेगा? एनीवन? व्हाट वुड बी द एंड ऑफ दिस प्रीवियस ईयर? दिस ईयर August 2010. So it is saying basically 2 years from the end of the financial year in which the certificate of completion is obtained. ठीक है? 2 years from the end of this financial year. End पहले, sorry, yes?
Financial year 10-11.
हाँ नहीं, end date
12. मतलब इसके 2 साल जो फाइनेंशियल ईयर बाद वाले होंगे वो पूछ रहे हैं.
2 साल बाद में लेंगे. पहले क्या बोल रहा है? 2 years तो लेंगे फ्रॉम द एंड ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल ईयर. तो पहले एंड ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल ईयर इसका देखना है. यहाँ पे मेरे को मिल गया सर्टिफिकेट, COC लिखता हूँ मान लीजिए, ठीक है? सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ कंप्लीशन. तो इसका एंड होगा 2011 मार्च 31, ठीक है, मार्च 31 2011। ओके, ये इसका एंड हो गया। अब यहां से लेके 2 साल आपके पास है, यानी यू हैव गॉट टिल 2 years, 1st April 2011 to 31st March 2012, और दूसरा ईयर है 1st April 2012 to 31st March 2013। तो ये यहाँ तक के बेसिकली आपका, अगर यहाँ कंप्लीशन मिला आपको, ये 2013 31 मार्च तक के आपको नोशनल रेंट देने की जरूरत है। तो 2 साल आपको दिए गए हैं, आप बेचो 2 साल में। ओके, सो बेसिकली इफ ए सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ कंप्लीशन has been given on any date, just first take the end of this year, this financial year. So it will be March next, March of that year. Okay, so it will be so in this case it is March 31. If this date was say this date is what, January 2011, then what would be the end date? Still March 2011, right? So go for the same financial year. ये होगा अगर if this would have been, say this would have been February 2011, if I would have got COC on February 2011, still end of the year is March only. Okay, got it? And then for these 2 years I don't need to pay notional rent. ठीक है, समझ गए आप लोग? Understood everyone how this works? So annual value will be nil. Annual value is what, like the letting value. Okay, that is this point. Then you have doctrine of mutuality. In this case of club, any mutual organization and all. So how club functions is, say there are many people, A, B, C, D. Okay, many people. They put money. Everyone puts money. Okay, say he is putting 10K, 10K. Many people will be there, and this money they will using this. They will keep a place for recreation, say swimming pool. They'll have swimming pool and club, all that. Many people. So they are basically just using this for the recreation, not for profitable activity. Okay. So and in case they have out of this money, they have bought any house also here. Any rent they are getting, that again they are putting in the same thing, in their club activity only. They are not taking it out. In that case, that is called mutual activity. ठीक है, समझ गए आप लोग? तो बहुत सारे लोग मेंबर्स रहते हैं, लोग क्लब वगैरह बनाते हैं, ठीक है, सारे कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, बहुत पैसे जम जाते हैं, उसको यूज करते हैं एक रिक्रिएशन के लिए। क्लब वर्ब बनाते हैं, स्विमिंग पूल रहेगा, ये रहेगा, कुछ स्पोर्ट्स रहेगा, ठीक है, उससे प्रॉफिट कुछ नहीं कमाते, बस रिक्रिएशन के लिए। तो उसमें उनका जैसे कभी कभी घर में रूम्स वगैरह भी रखते हैं, वहां पे रूम का किराया रहता है, जो यूज करता है वो किराया मिलता है, बट दैट किराया रेंट अगेन गोज इनटू क्लब एक्टिविटी ओनली, so nobody takes it out for profit. Okay, so this is what this point suggests, doctrine of mutuality. Okay, running on no profit no loss basis, that in property income is exempt. Okay, then next we'll talk about some exempted properties which have been exempted. Annual value, rent value is fully exempt. So any one palace or part of an ex-ruler, okay, that is exempt. If one part is self-occupied, remaining is let out, then self-occupied part will be exempted, right? Then you have local authority. Property of local authority is exempted. Then you have approved scientific research association, exempted. Educational institution, hospital, person being a resident of Ladakh. Okay, Ladakh is specifically excluded because it's always in the firing line. Political party, exempted. Trade union, exempted. Farmhouse, exempted. Okay, you just have to know this. If this is asked as MCQ also, and sometimes they can ask you name any 5 exempted properties. or 4 exempted properties. Or rather, they'll give you 4 marks question, ask for any 8 exempted properties. You write the name of 8, you'll get 4 marks. ठीक है? Okay? ये सब exempted होते हैं. इसका annual value 0 ही रहता है हमेशा. And last 2 is property held for charitable purpose, and this is for own business or profession. So this is not fully exempted. This is exempt from house property. This one, own business or profession. It is taxable, but under business or profession. यहाँ पे exempt में लिखने का मतलब है house property में exempt है. That's what they are saying. ये वाला only this one. Okay. Other 10 is exempted. पूरा exempted. Okay. Now we'll see computation of income. How income is computed under income from house property. Okay. So here, so these are your types of property. This is how properties are distributed for computing income. ठीक है, ऐसा bifurcate किया गया है कुछ चीजें देख के. पहले है let out property जो किराए में दी है वो, that is let out property, rented property. Okay. Now don't see. Okay. No need to see this part. Okay. This part we'll see later. You will understand this only after we do some problems. So here I have just summarized it for you. So this part you will need only after we do some problems. Then I will bring you back. Okay. So for now, don't worry about this red block. Then second is property not actually occupied by the owner. Okay. So this happens when his job or business or profession is in some other city, his house is in some other city. Okay, that is this point. Then self-occupied property, where I said that for two it is exempt. Then partly self-occupied, partly vacant. Sorry, partly let out. So like many people have like that they have one house only, but they let out one unit, okay, and they stay in one unit there itself. Okay, this is that. And then this is 4, and there are 2 more things here. Continuation of that table only. Okay, because it was going outside, I have just brought it down. Deemed to be let out. That's what I said. Over 2 residential properties are deemed to be let out. And what are other rules of deemed to be let out? There are always deeming provisions, I told you, in taxation. है ना, इसको मान लिया जाता है. डीमिंग मतलब इसको मान लिया गया है, right? Deemed to be let out. Then recovery of arrears of rent and unrealized rent. ठीक है, at this stage you need not worry about it. ठीक है, हम just अभी introduction में जा रहे हैं. This point don't worry. Okay, I'll show you later this part. Right. So then this is how it is computed, your income from house property. Okay. This is how your income from house property is computed. So सबसे पहले we take the gross annual value. So we'll discuss what it is. And from gross annual value, you have to deduct municipal tax. Right? Deduct municipal tax, you get net annual value. Okay. And then you have got 2 deductions. One is standard deduction, which is 30% of net annual value. Whatever you get this value, just take 30% directly, and this is one deduction. Everyone gets it. Second is interest on borrowed capital. Okay. And then finally, you get income from house property. When from this net annual value, you deduct these 2 things, you get income from house property. Okay, this is the format. 23 clause 1. Section is 23 clause 1. यहाँ पे आपका ग्रॉस एनुअल वैल्यू रहेगा. क्या हम देखेंगे क्या है डिटेल में. उसमें से आप म्युनिसिपल टैक्स माइनस करेंगे तो नेट एनुअल वैल्यू आता है. फिर 2 डिडक्शंस मिलते हैं आपको. एक है स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन जो नेट एनुअल वैल्यू का 30% होता है, और फिर इंटरेस्ट ऑन बोरोड कैपिटल. ये दोनों आप डिडक्ट करते हैं तो यू गेट इनकम फ्रॉम हाउस प्रॉपर्टी. ठीक है. ये है फॉर्मेट आपका बेसिकली, ये फॉर्मेट हम यूज करेंगे प्रॉब्लम्स में. We'll be using the same format. Now we'll just explain these terms and then we'll go for problems. So definitely unlikely that we'll go to problems today, right? So tomorrow 8 o'clock onwards we'll start. Next Sunday we'll just see, we'll try to use that 5:45 slot which I told you. Okay, I'll confirm by Wednesday. But just be alert to that 5:45. 5:45 to 7. Okay. So here, now first thing we saw is gross annual value here, right? This was gross annual value. So let us see what is gross annual value. ठीक है, चलो हम देखते हैं gross annual value. ठीक है, the tax is not charged on the inherent, नहीं not, एक मिनट, ये गलत, एक 1 minute. It's not okay. This tax is charged. Okay. So this is tax is charged on the inherent earning capacity. Building में कितना rent मिल सकता है, उसके वो main base होता है. Okay. Inherent earning capacity of house property. Right? वो capacity को आप annual value बोलते हैं. Okay, या gross annual value बोलते हैं. So how to find gross annual value? You have to see 4 things. 4 चीजें देखी जाती है ग्रॉस एनुअल वैल्यू फाइंड करने के लिए. ग्रॉस एनुअल वैल्यू क्या है? अर्निंग कैपेसिटी है बिल्डिंग की. ठीक है, तो इसमें 4 चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए. सबसे पहला है एक्चुअल रेंट रिसीव्ड और रिसीवेबल. ओके, इसको एक्रूअल बेसिस में कंप्यूट करते हैं. नॉर्मली अनलेस टोल्ड इट इज एक्रूअल बेसिस. ओके, if it is cash basis, you will be specifically told that it is cash basis. ठीक है, नहीं तो accrual ही रहेगा, नहीं भी बताया. Okay, so even if not told, it will be accrual basis only always, right? If it is cash basis, you will be told specifically. So actual rent receivable computed on accrual basis. It's basically what is the rent that you are supposed to receive from your tenant. You might not have received it, but you know that you are going to have tenant for 12 months. Okay, or you are going to have a tenant for 10 months. So what is the rent you are expecting from it? Not necessarily the whole thing you have received. Okay, it is received or receivable. Both are part of this. Okay. So if rent is influenced by benefits provided by owner, such rent must be disintegrated to determine actual rent. तो यहाँ पे जो है ना, just take the de facto rent. So here we are computing the rental value of the property. If there is rent of any services or other things, take that out. Okay, that's the only thing. So de facto rent is rent minus cost of amenities. ठीक है, यानी आपके रेंट में से जो सर्विस कुछ दे रहे हैं या फर्नीचर उसका आप निकाल दो. ठीक है, बताया जाएगा आपको. और इसमें एक है आउटस्टैंडिंग रेंट इज कंसिडर्ड बट एडवांस इज नॉट. क्यों? कैन एनीवन टेल मी व्हाई आउटस्टैंडिंग रेंट इज कंसिडर्ड बट एडवांस रेंट इज नॉट?
Convention of conservatism.
Convention of conservatism.
I'm not too sure. I just said maybe.
Okay. So yeah, मतलब logically yes, but conservatism is mostly, you use it when.
हाँ, बस सर वही कि अगर कोई एक्सपेंस है या कोई लॉस है, वो अगर हमें दिख रहा है तो हम उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करते हैं, बट कोई प्रॉफिट है, फ्यूचर प्रॉफिट, उसको नहीं करते. कंजर्वेटिज्म ये जो है आपका कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एक्रूअल, ये कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एक्रूअल पे बेस्ड. एक्रूअल करके भी एक कॉन्सेप्ट है ना, जैसे कंजर्वेटिज्म है वैसी. ठीक है, तो एक्रूअल में क्या होता है ना कि जो अगर आपका ये है, जो बेसिकली ये ईयर है मेरा, एक्रूअल प्रिंसिपल में, एक्रूअल बेसिस और एक्रूअल प्रिंसिपल,
So मेरा previous year is 2021 से 2022. Okay, this is my year. So इसमें पूरा rent जो I am expecting, that will be for this year. Okay, it can be advance within this is okay. ठीक है, तो इसमें भी आपको ये देखना है कि suppose I am in June now. Okay, so when I am talking about 2021-22 rent by accrual principle, I'll talk about 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2021. So इसमें जो है जो advance rent which will be excluded will be rent for subsequent period after 31st of March. After 31st March 2021 से, क्योंकि वो इस पीरियड का रेंट नहीं है, वो फ्यूचर पीरियड का रेंट है. ओके, सो दिस इज बेस्ड ऑन एक्रूअल प्रिंसिपल आपका. ओके, अब जैसे कंजर्वेटिज्म में वगैरह क्या होता है ना, जैसे स्टॉक और मार्केट वैल्यू विच एवर इज मोर, कॉस्ट और मार्केट वैल्यू, कॉस्ट प्राइस और मार्केट वैल्यू विच एवर इज लेस लेते हैं. So अगर if market value is more now, so market value is say cost price is CP is equals to 2000 and MP is equals to say 1500, because now I am expected to get only 1500, right? So 1500 लेते हैं closing stock का price. This is based on conservatism. Okay, so इसीलिए जो है it is computed on accrual basis, इसीलिए outstanding rent you will consider, right? So when I am saying outstanding, it's outstanding for my current previous year. Okay, when I am saying advance rent, it is advance beyond my current previous year. ठीक है, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर मेरे को उसकी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि मेरे को इसी प्रीवियस ईयर में 3 महीने का एडवांस मिल गया, not that advance. Okay, so whatever is within 2021, that is not advance for me, that is for this year. Anything beyond 31st March 2021, 2022 it will be, right? 31st March 2022 will be advance for me. ठीक है, चलो ये हो गया. फिर अभी ग्रॉस म्युनिसिपल वैल्यू, इसमें सेकेंड टर्म कुछ टर्म्स वी आर सीइंग, ठीक है, फॉर ग्रॉस एनुअल वैल्यू. दूसरा है ग्रॉस म्युनिसिपल वैल्यू. तो जो म्युनिसिपैलिटीज होते हैं वो म्युनिसिपल टैक्स हमको लेते हैं, ठीक है, हमसे. वो टैक्स लेने के लिए वो अपने रिकॉर्ड में प्रॉपर्टी का वैल्यू रखते हैं क्या है करके. या तो मैं कुछ कम बता दूंगा और उसका परसेंटेज रहता है ना टैक्स, इसलिए दे मेंटेन देयर ओन रिकॉर्ड्स. तो म्युनिसिपैलिटी के रिकॉर्ड से भी पता चलता है गवर्नमेंट को कि क्या वैल्यू है, मतलब लगभग, इफ नॉट एक्यूरेटली बट दे नो व्हाट इज व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ दैट बिल्डिंग. ओके, इफ नॉट एक्यूरेटली, या वेरी क्लोजली वी कैन से. लेकिन म्युनिसिपैलिटी को पूरा मालूम रहता है उनके कहाँ कौन सा एरिया है, वहाँ क्या रेट चल रहा है. ओके, यहाँ so here gross municipal value is the value of the house as per municipality. They use that value to charge you municipal tax. Okay, so it is that value basically. By seeing that value, we come to know what is the value of the house. Because municipalities, like, they keep on updating their records. Only then they'll get proper tax, right? So which is why it is a good basis. Now here there's one more thing in computing gross municipal value. Just remember, all non-metro cities, gross GMV, gross municipal value, and net municipal value will be same. Okay, so how it is calculated? Gross municipal value less municipal taxes will give you net municipal value. Okay, so here gross municipal value and net municipal value will be the same for non-metro cities. Okay, and for metro cities, it is little different. So I will tell you this computation when we come to a problem. Okay, so for metro cities, what happens? They give a 10% allowance for your water tax, sewerage tax, all that. And whatever value remains, okay, from that 10%, from that they deduct some other taxes. Okay, so that this 10% allowance is given. From that 10% allowance, they deduct sewerage tax, water tax, etc. Okay, so at this stage, you need not understand this closely. We'll go to a problem, because unless I show this with figures, you will not understand. Okay, this part now, basically NMV is equals to, for metro cities, GMV minus 10% of GMV minus sewerage water tax. This becomes NMV for them. And for non-metro cities, it is GMV is equals to NMV. So when we do the problems, that time I'll just bring you back here and show this. Because without figures, you will not understand this. Okay. For now, just understand that for gross municipal value, the computation is different for metro. Metro is only 4 metros here. Okay. Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai. So even all other Bangalore and all these are not considered as metros. Okay, only these 4 cities. Just for now, understand that computation is little different for these 4 and the rest. That is sufficient. Okay, ठीक है? तो इसके बाद में जो ना इसकी डिटेल्स में हम जाएंगे. कुछ प्रॉब्लम चाहिए हमको एक. वो प्रॉब्लम के साथ हम जब दिखाएंगे आपको, तभी आपको ये समझेगा. ठीक है? फिर है आपका फेयर रेंट. फेयर रेंट और नोशनल रेंट, ये एक चीज है. ये क्या होता है ना, रेंट फेच्ड बाय सिमिलर प्रॉपर्टी और सेम इन द सेम और सिमिलर लोकेलिटी. ठीक है? तो ऐसे ही दूसरा कोई प्रॉपर्टी देखते हैं, उसका क्या रेंट चल रहा है, उसको बोलते हैं फेयर रेंट. तो जैसे एक एग्जांपल यहाँ पे है कि जिसमें आपको अगर मंथली रेंट इज 2000, ठीक है, और जो आपने अपने फ्रेंड को दिए, लेकिन आप अगर दूसरे किसी को नॉर्मली देते तो 2500 में देते, तो फेयर रेंट हो गया 2500. ओके, फेयर रेंट है ना, उसका एक्चुअल रेंट क्या होगा, यानी यहाँ पे आपका घर है, 2 लाइन के बाद में दैट इज अ वेरी सिमिलर हाउस, वहां कितने में दिया है वो देखेंगे. So we'll just see in fair rent or notional rent what a similar property is fetching in a similar locality. Okay, वो देखा जाता है fair rent. Last is rent control, standard rent. So there is a rent control act. ठीक है, you would all have heard about it also. So rent control act, it shows the maximum rent which can be taken from the tenant, so that exorbitant rents are not charged. बहुत ज्यादा चार्ज नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए एक लिमिट करके रखता है रेंट कंट्रोल एक्ट. तो स्टैंडर्ड रेंट इज द मैक्सिमम रेंट व्हिच अ पर्सन कैन लीगली रिकवर फ्रॉम हिज टेनेंट. ठीक है, ये हर स्टेट का एक्ट होता है, स्टेट वाइज एक्ट होता है रेंट कंट्रोल. ओके, सो यहाँ पे बस इसमें है कि आपका जो रीजनेबल एक्सपेक्टेड रेंट है, इट कैनॉट एक्सीड स्टैंडर्ड रेंट. ठीक है, वो मैक्सिमम है, बट इट कैन बी लोअर. ठीक है, स्टैंडर्ड रेंट से कम रहने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, बट इट शुड नॉट एक्सीड इट. ओके, सो एनी क्वेश्चंस? यहाँ पे हम क्लोज करेंगे. अभी आगे हम कंप्यूटेशंस वगैरह में जाएंगे, थोड़ा और प्रैक्टिकल इसमें जाएंगे, ये पॉइंट्स भी और अच्छे समझेंगे आप. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्लास ऑनवर्ड्स विल गो लिटिल डीप. ठीक है, so any questions so far you can ask me, or that's all for the day.
Sir, reasonable rent is fair rent or same?
नहीं, reasonable rent जो है, see, for calculating reasonable rent you use actual rent receivable, you use gross municipal value, you use fair rent number C, and you use standard rent. So reasonable expected rent computation involves all 4 aspects of these. Okay, so it is separate. Fair rent is separate from reasonable rent.